This video is not for kids. Go do your homework. Oh my god, this stuff is so dusty. Is her head even attached? Hello, fellow crazy doll people of the internet. The year's almost half over, and I wanted to do an update on my collection goals because a lot has changed since I filmed that video 6 months ago, which I can't even believe it's been that long. But some plans have changed. I've gotten rid of some things. I've fallen in love with some new things that I am now like refreshing eBay every 10 minutes now trying to find them. So I'm just going to kind of address everything that I talked about 6 months ago in an incredibly long and probably too boring video. Like, I actually went through it to watch just to do a proper update on everything. I was like, oh my god, this video is like driving me crazy. Like, I couldn't even watch the whole thing. So yeah, it's a great video to fall asleep to, but today I'm going to try and quickly go through sort of my original goals for the year, and if I'm going to talk about if I'm still collecting that thing, if I got it, if I'm looking for it, or if I'm selling it if I got it in the first place. So yeah, let's just hop into it. First off, if you're new here, I want to say hello. My most recent video did pretty well, and a lot of you I think are here because you're Barbie collectors, and I want to say I am now one of you. I actually have a lot of Barbie stuff now, and expect to see more of it in addition to the American Girl content. So yeah, thank you so much for joining me on this adventure. First, I kind of wanted to talk about the state of my Pleasant Company collection, because as you know, that's what really got me into the love of dolls and what started the doll collecting in the first place several years ago. So yeah, let me talk a little bit about where my Pleasant Company collection is at right now. So long story short, I have just about everything I want now from the 1980s Pleasant Company collection. Back in the video, I talked about sort of my holy grail items, and those are like September 1986 signed and numbered Molly, Samantha, and Kirsten. I still don't have those, and it may be years if I ever get them in the first place. So, I'm not going to consider my collection incomplete because I don't have those things. I hope I get them eventually, but we're talking like very expensive, impossible to find dolls, and they only come up once every several years. So I may or may not get them. I still have my eye out for them. I would love to have one, especially in the single digits. We'll see if it happens, but as of right now, I don't have any. But I do have, I'm trying to think, I might have gotten a new signed doll or two. No, I haven't actually, but I still have my trio of signed dolls. I have my Samantha from October, I think she's from 1986, and then I have my 1987 Kirsten and Molly. So I still have signed dolls. I just want lower numbers. I mentioned that I was after one of the Samanthas with the big teeth and the amber eyes. I still haven't been able to find one, but again, it's not a high priority on my list. I would still like one, but I just don't want to pay over $1,000 for one. I'm hoping I can find one on eBay for a steal, but as you know, a lot of times that happens and then somebody emails the seller and offers a higher price. So the steals are getting harder and harder to find because of certain not nice people in the community. But yeah, hopefully I'll find one. I still am hoping I will. Another doll that was sort of on my short list was what collectors call a spooky Kirsten, which is essentially a 1986 Kirsten doll with the really, really, really light blue eyes, and hence they're called spooky. She looks a little bit scary. I've actually managed to create two basically fake ones, and I won't get into like how I've made them, but I have technically two in my collection, but they're fake. So I would like to find an authentic one eventually. I'm still looking, but again, I'm not paying $2,000 to $3,000 for that doll. I'm gonna have to try and find one in the wild for under $1,000. So I'm still looking. One day I will find one. And the last 1980s doll that was on my list for Pleasant Company was a Dreamer Kirsten, and I found one. And I actually unboxed her. I did a whole video unboxing her and an entire collection that came with her. And I'm actually gonna trade that doll with one of my good doll friends for a different. Basically, she has a Dreamer, I have a Dreamer, and we like each other's better, so we're just gonna swap. So I will have that doll, I think, within the next few months, hopefully. So yeah, I consider my Dreamer search over because I have one of Molly and one of Kirsten. So that's one thing I found, and they're really hard to find. So I'm really excited I have her. Are you enjoying the video so far? I would love it if you would hit the subscribe button and join me on my doll collecting adventures. All right, back to the show. The next thing I had on my list for Pleasant Company dolls was, I was originally at the beginning of the year thinking I was going to get one of every doll from the original Girl of Today release, which would have been 20 dolls, like numbers 1 through 20. And I think after about, I would say a month or two, I sort of abandoned that goal because I realized what happens when I start to get in a doll line. I want everything. And so it wasn't going to be just the 20 dolls. It was going to be all of the outfits and everything that, probably for the like entire 90s collection. So I was like, all right, this is not even a childhood nostalgia collection. I've got a lot of Pleasant Company dolls, so I decided more or less to abandon that side of my collection, and I have sold most of it. I have so far just kept my number 4 and my number 18. I found a number 18, which was on my list to get either a number 1 or a number 18, and I found one. And I've been flirting with the idea of selling her, but as of right now, I can't bring myself to do it because I've got her fixed up. She's in her like original meat outfit, and actually, let me go get her really quick. I want to show her to you. Whew, I just ran up and down the stairs. I'm going to be out of breath for a second. This is my number 18, and she's, is she perfect? No, but she is perfectly cute. The only thing I have to deal with mainly is she's got a few marks on her body, which I can probably get off. And then she's got silver eye in this left eye right here. But I'm still trying to figure out if I want to repaint this eye or actually just get an Addie from this same era, like 1995, and just swap the eyes. But yeah, once I fixed her up and like put her original hairstyle in and everything, I was like, I might regret selling this doll because I got a few offers on her when I kind of put a post out saying, oh, I might sell this doll. What do we think she's worth? I didn't get any offers over $500. So to me, like this doll, I feel like to replace this doll, it probably should be closer to $1,000 because she is, I believe, probably the rarest, at least of the first 20. I don't follow I don't like know a lot about like 21 and up as far as the Girl of Today numbers. So this to me is the single rarest Girl of Today, more so than the first version of number 6 with like the black hair and the dark brown eyes. I see those come up from time to time. I mean, people are paying like in the realm of like $1,000 for those, and this like doll is so much more rare or rarer than she is. So I don't know. I just have a feeling if I sell her, I might regret it. So for now, I'm going to hold on to her because I really do love her. And again, I love collecting rare things. So, as far as the Girl of Today line, I might stick with just her. My number 4, which I think is in a dog pile of dolls somewhere over there. Oh, I see her. I'm going to grab her just so you can see her. I don't know if I've shown her on the channel before. This is my number 4. Again, I don't know what it is with Silver Eye and these like Girl of Today dolls, but I always get ones with Silver Eye. But I got a fairly decent deal on this one, so I just went ahead and bought her. She was like, I think a little under $200. So at the time especially, that was a good deal on these. I think prices are coming down on number 4 because, everybody wants number 4. I mean, hello, you can totally see why people like want number 4. She's one of the cutest face molds that American Girl or Pleasant Company has ever made. So I see why she's really popular, but she's not really that rare. Like you can always find a number 4. So I think, as collectors are starting to get their hands on number 4 and fewer people are wanting them, I think the prices on her are actually going to come down. So, it might not be too long before we start seeing these regularly sell for like $150, $175. So for me to sell her now, she's just not worth what I would get for her. So I'm going to keep her and I'm going to keep her for now. And then again, maybe just a couple of outfits like the perfectly plaid and the blue jeans basics. But yeah, as of right now, I'm really, really paring back on my Girl of Today collection because it's not a nostalgic thing for me. I didn't learn about it until a couple of years ago when I started collecting dolls again. So yeah, I just have so many Pleasant Company dolls. I really don't feel like I want to have an additional 20 dolls that weren't even part of like my childhood nostalgia. So these are the 2 that I'm keeping and I really love them. And I think that these 2 will be the hardest to part with. So yeah, these are the 2 I'm keeping. Another thing that was on my list when I made that original video was I was planning on getting what at the time was the unknown twin release that American Girl had just announced. And, by now we all know who they are. It's Nikki and Isabel Hoffman. And I ended up getting them and I did an unboxing video and I still have them. I really love them, especially Isabel. She aesthetically is my favorite doll, but like Nikki probably has my favorite story by a little bit just because I was more like Nikki when I was that age. So I love both of them. I plan for now to keep them because I do have a small, like what I call like a contemporary collection of historicals. So I will be keeping Nikki and Isabel. For now, I only have the Hoffman twins and their accessories, and I plan to keep it that way for the short term at least. Another one of the contemporary historicals that I got was Courtney. And again, I am in the middle of doing a multi-part series on unboxing the doll, the clothes, accessories, furniture. Like I pretty much have Courtney's entire collection now. And you can kind of see why it's like dangerous collecting things that are so readily available and they're not like that expensive. So once I got the doll, I basically just within weeks bought everything else, which, again, that shows you like what a problem I have. So yeah, I'm not kidding. Like within a month, I went from being like, maybe I'll get Courtney with my points to having like literally everything, including her bed. So yeah, be sure to stick around the channel because I got like 2 or 3 more Courtney videos where I'm going through like her entire bed accessory set and all of that. And I really, really love it. I fell in love with Courtney's collection. So there's only like, I think there are only a few things left that I haven't bought yet. So I'm like totally going to get it all. Another of the contemporary historicals that came up was Claudie, and again, she is one of my favorite modern historicals that they've been making. I absolutely love her face mold, especially. I do still want to get Claudie, but I haven't mentioned in this video that I am moving. A lot of you know that if you've been watching for the last few weeks, but I am packing my entire life up and we are moving cross country within a matter of weeks or months. So I really shouldn't be buying anything, even though I still am. I'm buying like nothing's happening. But there are a few things where I'm like, I just need to wait until I get settled in another place. And Claudie's going to be around for a while. So I will get her, but I am just waiting until I'm on the other side of the move. And ideally, I would love to go to one of the American Girl stores and pick one out. We'll see if it's still open by the time I get there. But yeah, I will get Claudie at some point. I just don't have her yet. And another contemporary doll line that kind of came up was I had talked about wanting to get some of the boy dolls. And again, I still want to, but it's the same story as Claudie. I'm just going to wait until I get on the other side of the move. And be sure I still want to get all of these brand new dolls. I could just start my new life and be like, okay, we really need to tone this down now. But I still really do want to get at least one boy doll to have to put with Courtney. I'd been thinking about getting one to basically be her best friend. So there are a few things in her collection too that I feel like he could wear. So I feel like it would be fun to get a boy doll to put with the 80s collection. And I think it would be kind of fun to have Logan as well. But again, they're not on my short list right as of now. But if I find a Logan for $25-50 on eBay, I'm gonna buy him. But I just haven't found one for a good deal, so I am waiting. I had also mentioned in that video, sort of like my big announcement, that I was gonna be collecting the Our New Baby line. And that's something that I've continued to follow and collect and buy. And as of now, I have the 3 original dolls, like the babies and like the 3 different races that they made for them. And I've started to collect some of the outfits, and I have a few of them. They actually don't come up very often. And, most of the time when somebody lists them and knows what they are, they will try and get like $100 for like one of the original outfits. And I'm not paying that. I'm trying to find outfits more in the $20 to $30 range for that collection. So it's been really slow going. So I think I've gotten about 3-ish outfits maybe. I'm actively looking every day, but it just doesn't come up often. But I will complete like the first and second wave of the Our New Baby collection from Pleasant Company because I still really love it. It's very nostalgic to me and the quality is really good. So yeah, I've got my eye out. I'm still working on it and I plan to complete it. All right, that's enough of the American Girl world because I know, again, some of you are probably watching this going like, I don't even like these dolls. I'm here for Barbie content. So yeah, let's move on to other doll lines. And just really briefly, I had talked about collecting a lot of 80s toys that I wanted in my childhood and wasn't allowed to have. Things like Polly Pocket, My Little Pony, the Little Miss line, if you remember them, the Little Miss Singing Mermaid, Little Miss Magic Makeup, all of those dolls that, I feel like every little kid that wanted them, or I mean, let's be honest, in the 80s, like every little girl that wanted them had them and took them for granted, and I never got them. So I would love to eventually see them in person and maybe build a little collection of them when I have a little bit more space. But again, I'm moving. There's no way I'm bringing big, chunky Playline dolls from the 80s into my house yet. I'm going to wait till I'm on the other side of all of that. So I've really tried to be good and not look at like My Little Pony and Polly Pocket and stuff on eBay because I know as soon as I buy one, I'm going to end up buying everything that I can get my hands on that's even like a remotely good deal. So I'm being patient. I will get those eventually. Like basically any like girl marketed toy from the 80s and early 90s I would eventually like to have and have like a really big collection of them. So yeah, I'm just waiting until I can get to the other side of the move and clear some space for them. But it will happen, but I just have to be good and patient for now, and it is so hard. All right, and on to my newest love is Barbie and Friends. So I've been doing a lot of reviews on the new Barbie releases because I find it really interesting to follow doll companies and, review and rate and share all my feelings about all the things that they're doing. I love dolls, obviously, and even if I don't buy a doll, I can still love it because I love pretty much everything. So I can't buy everything I love. So I've been really good about not purchasing brand new Barbie items. I have one that was like a new release, which is one of the Barbie Rewind dolls, because I really wanted a new, fresh doll that didn't have like a weird smell or anything to it. So I did get her, but I really like, once I like popped the top on buying vintage Barbie, it kind of started happening fast, which again, I did this after knowing I was going to move, and I did it anyway because I'm a an idiot. But yeah, I bought my first Skipper doll. I'm trying to remember what year she's from. It's the Cool Top Skipper. And I actually have one that was opened already. Like I had been looking for a Cool Top Skipper because she and the Cool Crimp Skipper are like my favorite Skipper dolls. And so I'd had searches saved for eBay, and finally somebody sold a Cool Top Skipper that was like opened already for like, I don't know, I think she was like $8 or something. So I was like, okay, finally I got my Cool Top Skipper. So I got her, she arrived in the mail, I kind of fixed her up a little bit, and then, I'm not kidding, within like the next couple of days, somebody on like a seller on eBay listed a lot of like 15 Skipper dolls, brand new in the box, untouched, from the 80s and early 90s. And it was, I would say, quite affordable. So I woke up in the morning, opened my phone, and I was like, no way. And so I just jumped on it and I bought it. And within the week, I went from having like just a couple of like vintage Skipper dolls with a little bit of ratty hair to like, between that lot that I bought and then again other things I bought, I'm not kidding, I have like 30 Skipper dolls. But again, I have some of them to the side right here. We're talking like brand new, mint in the box. I brought my Cool Tops ones down, or some of them anyway, because Cool Tops is one of my favorite Skippers. Like I said, her and Cool Crimp are my favorite, but I want them all. And it's a relatively easy line to find. We're not talking spending $100 on each of these. And realistically, I think I spent about $20, like including shipping, on each of these dolls in the box, which is really, really great. And as a rule, like if I'm buying an open Skipper, I'm trying to spend like less than $10, and hopefully she has like her shoes and clothes and stuff. But yeah, I have all of these, like, again, a lot of them are like upstairs for now because I don't have space to display them right now. But yeah, I have probably at least half of the Skipper line right now, like this version of it. I guess I should clarify that this is the version of Skipper that I really love the most, is this, I don't know what her official name is, but she was the change that they made in 1987 where they did the really like big round eyes. To me, this like is the epitome of a 1980s doll, with just the really like, they're doe-eyed. And again, most of them, like the white ones, are like blonde haired. I don't know. To me, this just is such an icon of the 80s, and they really take me back to look at this era of Barbie, like with the pink box and just the big doughy eyes. And I actually don't have a ton of actual Barbie from this era. I have a few that are on the way still, but for the most part, I thought, let's just dive into Skipper. I actually like her better than like the 80s version of Barbie. So this just seemed like the most obvious thing for me to collect, again, because I can feasibly collect everything from that era of Skipper. So that's one of the big things I've been working on with my Barbie collection, is trying to get every single version that was released of that version of Skipper. And again, I'm just really trying to find good deals on Barbie for now. I'm not going in and paying market value, and certainly I think once I paid kind of a lot for a Skipper doll, but I'll show her in another video because she was my absolute favorite of all, and she's kind of hard to find. But as a general rule, if I'm buying Barbie right now, it has to be a really good deal, especially if it's 80s Barbie, because so many of those were made. I know I will eventually find a good deal, and I just don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on an 80s Barbie collection. So as far as 80s Barbie is concerned, right now I'm mainly on the hunt for things basically from the first 10 years I was alive, basically. So 1984 to 1994 I think is a really good like round 10 years for me to search for things. And again, as things come up, like it, on outside of that sort of scope that I've set for myself, I will get them, if I like them. I'm not saying like I will only collect from those years, but I'm really trying to keep that my focus like narrowed to like those 10 years, because I think those are the things that will bring me the most nostalgic joy. So that's kind of where I'm at as far as hunting for the 80s version of Barbie. And like so many others, I have actually fallen in love with 1960s Barbie and Ken. So that's probably the newest thing that I've started to collect, because again, once I started tearing into the Barbie world, there's so much Barbie to like look at and collect, and there's just so much information. And I don't know, I feel like there's nobody in the world that has absolutely everything from 1959 to 2023. So most, if not all, Barbie collectors have to be really selective about what they buy. And everybody has different parameters too. Some people just buy what they like. Some people who are a little bit more like me might say, all right, I'm going to collect this specific era and set like just a guideline of, a certain era just to keep things simple, because a lot of us are very like completionists. So it helps to have like a few rules here and there, so you don't just literally just spend every dime that comes into your wallet. So I have to collect that way. I have to sort of set parameters. But yeah, as I started like looking into other lines and learning more about lines that I didn't know as a child, I really started looking more into like the original collection of Barbie, Ken, Alan and Midge and all of them, Skipper. So once I started really looking into the early history and the origins of Barbie, I really, really fell in love with the original Ken line. So we're talking things from like 1961, which was the first year Ken was released, through like, I would say like the end of the 60s. I think they kind of tapered off making a lot of new releases right before they switched over to like the mod Ken that's, predominantly like 70s. So as far as like 60s Ken, I really would love to collect everything of Ken from 1961 to like 1969. That is something that I've actually already started on. I bought like two very, very like what we call TLC, which means they just, a lot of flaws and playware on the dolls. So I haven't bought like a really expensive one yet, but I have two Ken dolls. I think only two. I might have been bad and bought more than that. I don't remember, but I have two Ken dolls that are on the way. One's actually arriving today that I'm excited about, but I got a blonde and brunette version of the 1961 Ken. So once I kind of get my hands on him and just be sure that I like him, I will probably start actively collecting a little bit more. I also have a few outfits on the way, and I guess that's what I want to say too, is the reason I have fallen so in love with 60s Barbie and Ken is because of the quality of their fashions. And again, this isn't like a Barbie history video, but those of you that collect Barbie understand the quality and craftsmanship that went into the original collections, particularly the fashions. And to me, that is like, just as an adult that likes to collect toys, I really, really love high quality toys. Again, it's why I love the 80s Pleasant Company collection, because the quality is just unmatched by anything you've ever seen in a Playline doll. And so I love the aesthetic. I love that it's like a time capsule of American history. And, I don't know what else to say other than I've absolutely fallen in love with that era of Barbie and like I said, and Friends. So I bought a couple of outfits for Ken that are on the way. I've got the Rally Day outfit. I got it brand new, mint in the box. It has the keys and everything. So I'm really, really excited to see the original packaging, which is adorable. And I've gotten really, really, really excited, particularly about 1960s Ken, but I do think that this is going to eventually unfold into being like a full like 1960s collection. I could see myself buying everything from the first decade of Barbie, because it's not an insurmountable collection. At some point I would love to have a number one. It's not like, oh, my Barbie collection is incomplete if I don't have a number one, because they're so expensive, and I really need to kind of learn a little bit more about like the differences between like number one, number two, number three, number four, like all of those subtle differences between those dolls. So I'm not comfortable buying one yet. I really want to make sure I understand completely what the differences are and what they're true value is based on their condition and everything. So I still have a lot to learn about 60s Barbie, but I'm very excited about it. And to me, I feel like this is going to be the next big chapter of my collection adventure, is doing 60s Barbie. And again, I will probably, end up getting so much of the 60s collection. And if I end up getting that more or less complete, and then I'm like, I've got that. Well, I also have like everything from 1984. I probably will end up filling the gaps if we're honest. Like, so it's very, very likely that I will have everything from Barbie. Again, assuming that I can afford it all by the time, and don't lose interest. But I could see myself having everything from that Mattel made for Barbie from like 1959 to the year 2000. We'll see. It's a lot of stuff, but yeah, as of now, I'm really going to try and focus on the 60s stuff because looking at everything, I just have really fallen in love with it. And I think it's going to be really fun to collect. And yeah, I'm also like, I've got my eye out for the stuff that I wanted that I saw on all the TV commercials in the 80s. So that's kind of the state of my Barbie collection and my goals like moving into the second half of the year. So I'm really excited to have something new to collect because I'm still collecting American Girl and Pleasant Company, and I'm obviously going to continue to make videos about Pleasant Company because I have such a wealth of knowledge after all the collecting I've done. I've got so many videos planned about American Girl and Pleasant Company, but the collecting itself, I feel like is starting to get a little bit closer to the end because, like I said, I have almost everything I want from that collection, and which is everything. So, yeah, I need something new to like obsess over. So, as of right now, that's going to be 60s Barbie and a little bit of 80s Barbie. But yeah, and I'll be doing a ton of unboxing videos, history videos, all kinds of content. But yeah, all that's to say, American Girl, Pleasant Company, and Barbie are the main goals for my collection for the second half of the year. And I'm super excited, and I really hope you will join me for this journey and this adventure. It's so fun to watch people on YouTube, I think, and watch their collections grow, their knowledge grow, and just see people's love of dolls. And I would love it if you would join me for that. So that said, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button. Also, if you would leave a like and a comment below, it really helps my channel out. It helps me reach more people, and the more people I can reach, the more likely it is that I can do this more and more full time, which that would be an absolute dream someday to be able to just talk about dolls on the internet full time. But as of now, it's been really, really great getting to know some of you. And yeah, I just wanted to say thank you so much again for hanging out with me today. If you want even more doll content, I actually have a Patreon that's relatively new. It's right now, the lowest tier is only $3 a month, and you get a lot of extra content and discounts on my doll shop, a lot of really great perks. I personally think it's worth the $3, so definitely check it out if you want even more. And I'm also on TikTok and Instagram at I Dream of Johnny. That's it for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope to see you again really soon. Bye for now.